Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we will discuss William Blake's poem, London. London, published in 1794. William Blake, 1757-1827. The poem was taken from the collection Songs of Experience, 1794. Another genre, social protest poem, lyrical poem, visionary realism. Background and a context. London is one of Blake's most realistic and socially critical poems. Written during the late 18th century, it reflects Blake's anger and sorrow at the degradation of human life in industrial and political London. The poem belongs to the collection Songs of Experience, which represents the darker side of human existence, oppression, corruption, and spiritual decay, and in contrast to the innocence portrayed in the collection Songs of Innocence, as we can see in the poem The Lamb. William Blake lived through the Industrial Revolution, French Revolution, and American Revolution, all of which shaped his vision. He saw London, the heart of the British Empire, as both a symbol of power and a site of immense suffering. The poem was written around 1792 or 1793, when London was rife with poverty, child labor, prostitution, and a moral hypocrisy under the shadow of the church and a monarchy. Structure and division by summary. The poem is made up of 4 quatrains, that is 4-line stanzas, with a regular rhyme scheme AB, AB. The rhythm is steady and monotonous, mimicking the unending suffering and confinement of the city's inhabitants. Stanza first, the poet as the observer. I wander through each charted street, near where the charted Thames does flow, and I mark in every face I meet marks of weariness, marks of woe. The speaker walks through the streets of London, observing the people's misery and oppression. Chartered symbolizes ownership and restriction. Even the streets and Thames River are chartered, meaning controlled or commodified by the state or the wealthy. The speaker marks both literally and figuratively the marks of weariness and woe on people's faces, signs of emotional and spiritual suffering. Stanza second, universal oppression. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every band, the mind-forged manacles I hear. The poet hears cries from all men, infants, and the oppressed, representing universal suffering. Mind-forged manacles is one of Blake's most famous metaphors. It refers to the psychological and social chains created by the mind. Internalized oppression, fear, guilt, and the acceptance of injustice. The repetition of every emphasizes the all-pervasive nature of human misery. No one is free. The word ban refers to the prohibitions, restrictions, and decrees imposed by authority, religious, political, or social authorities. Blake suggests that people are enslaved not just physically but mentally, conditioned to obey authority and remain passive. Stanza 3, institutional corruption. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the helpless soldier's sigh rents in blood down palace walls. Main idea. William Blake directly attacks the church and the monarchy, the two dominant institutions of his time, for moral hypocrisy and oppression. Chimney sweeper's cry refers to the exploitation of child labor, young boys forced to clean chimneys, symbolizing innocence destroyed by industrial greed. Blackening church is a symbol of double meaning. Literally, the pollution of the industrial city darkens the church walls, and figuratively, the church itself is blackened with a guilt for ignoring the cries of the poor. Soldier's eye, rents in blood down palace walls, is a symbolic image of soldiers dying for the pride and greed of the ruling class. The palace walls metaphorically bleed with guilt. Stanza 4. Moral and sexual corruption. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlots curse, blast the newborn infant's tear, and blights with their plagues the marriage hears. The final stanza portrays the city at its darkest. Moral, physical, and sexual corruption reach their peak. Midnight streets is a symbol of secrecy, sin, and decay. Youthful harlot symbolizes young prostitutes, many forced into the trade by poverty. Blast the newborn infant's tear means the harlot's curse is both literal, that is disease or illegitimacy, and a symbolic, that is the newborn inherits a corrupt world. Marriage here is an oxymoron that combines the sacred marriage and the profane death. Suggests that holy institutions, that is marriage or love, are infected with a disease, hypocrisy, and a moral death. Symbol of collapse of purity and love in a diseased society. Themes in the book. Urban oppression and suffering. London is portrayed as a city of suffering, not progress. Every person and even nature is enslaved. Institutional hypocrisy. Blake condemns the church for ignoring moral duty and the monarchy for feeding on human blood. Loss of innocence. Innocence, symbolized by the infant and the chimney sweeper, is destroyed by society's corruption. Psychological slavery. The manifold manacles show that oppression is internalized. People are bound by fear and social conditioning, industrialization and dehumanization. The city's industrial and capitalist structure commodifies both the nature, that is represented by themes, and a human life. Moral decay and sexual corruption. The marriage here shows how even sacred institutions are infected by lust, disease, and a moral decline. Explanation of the title. The title, London, represents not just a city, but a state of moral and spiritual decay. Blake's London is symbolic of all societies enslaved by greed, industrialization, and hypocrisy. The poem transforms the geographical space into a psychological landscape, the inner prison of the human soul.